Hello world! Welcome back to another picoGym workout exercise video. In this video, we'll be walking through the reverse engineering challenge Picker 3. Let's get into it. Can you figure out how this program works to get the flag? Connect to the program with Netcat here. The program source code can be downloaded here. Alright, just like the other Picker challenges, let's go ahead and Netcat in. And there's no information provided on how to operate this, so let's go take a look at the source code. And just like the other pickers, we're going to be trying to call the win function or something within the win function. Just keep that in mind because there's a lot more code here than there was in the other picker challenges. So let's scroll down to where it's actually showing how we can operate it. And as you can see here, we can actually put in different commands to get different kinds of outputs. There appears to be a help command available to us in order to figure out how to operate this. So let's go ahead and type in a question mark. And it looks like we can put in 1, 2, 3, and 4, and those correlate to 1, 2, 3, 4, print table, read variable, write variable, and get random number respectively. And those appear to be functions according to this help guide right here. So we probably need to exploit one or more of these functions in order to call the win function. So let's kind of step through the code and see how we can go about doing that. Well, if we come down here, we can see that each choice calls the same function just with a different parameter depending on the choice. And that's the call func function. So let's take a look at that function. We can do a Control F to go find it. And our call func function actually defines a function name here, and it calls getFunc. Let's go see what getFunc does. And it looks like it just returns the function name corresponding to whatever number we've typed in. So it's essentially getting the function that we want to execute in the interface. So if we scroll back down to where we were just at, we can also see the eval function here. We know that that's probably going to be injectable in some type of way. It's taking whatever the function name is and adding the parentheses after it, and it's going to evaluate it. So what can we do? Well, it looks like we can just set the function name to whatever we want and then have that execute. We need a function to overwrite or create a new function in order to do this. I don't think creating a function is feasible, so we'll need a function that already exists in the code in order to get the win function to execute. Luckily, we have a write variable here, so I'm sure we can work something up there, and it says, please enter a variable name to write to. Well, we know what the 4 functions are. They're print table, read variable, write variable, and get random number. Can we exploit any of these is the question, though. Let's take a look at each of those functions and see what each one is all about. So if we scroll up, we'll see print table up here, and it looks like it's just printing our function table. If we scroll down, we have read variable, which is our second option, and it's filtering the var name. And according to this, it's doing a regex pattern search for letters and underscores and digits. That filter is probably not going to be super bypassable. And then there's our write variable function down here, which is our third option. And it's doing a filter on the variable name. Again, that's that same function we just saw for the read variable function. And then there's a filter value, which is looking for semicolons and parentheses in the value. So we can't call functions directly. So we got to find a way to kind of trick the system. Well, what if we were to overwrite the getRandomNumber function? All that function has done for the past pickers is literally print out the number 4. And we can go ahead and check on that right here. And as we can see, it just prints out the number 4. I bet you we could also do the same thing with these dummy functions as well. But let's just use one of the functions that are currently existing in the function table to increase our odds of success potentially. So how do we go about overriding the getRandomNumber function in order for it to evaluate to the win function? Let's first start off with our variable name to write to, which would be getRandomNumber. And then we want the new value of our variable to actually just be win. And what happens when you do this is it sets the win function to the getRandomNumber function in Python. So it's essentially saying getRandomNumber is equal to win. But think of them as functions rather than just variables. It's setting one function equal to another function just as if one variable was being set to another variable or value. Now all we would need to do is read our getRandomNumber variable. And we can see that our function when is now part of our getRandomNumber variable. But now is where the eval function comes in. So if we click for, it's going to evaluate getRandomNumber. Before, all we did was print the variable out, which just prints the address of the when function. But we actually need to execute the when function. And that's what exploiting the eval function here does. It's going to actually call our getRandomNumber function, which is actually our when function now. So we're going to press enter here, and then we get a hex encoding of our flag. And we can easily copy that just like we did in Picker1 and go to CyberChef. Paste that in, do from hex, and there's our flag. This is what we get with users in charge. So we'll copy that, paste it in, and submit. All right, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Turn on post notifications to get regular injections of cyber content directly into your feed. Check out our Patreon, join our Discord, and follow us on Twitter. Links in the description box down below. And leave any feedback or questions in the comments section down below. This is Almond Milk. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.